Okay, YouTubers, this is the Angryprepper. So today's video, we're going to talk about the DHS warning that came across, I guess, my computer this morning. Probably happened yesterday, whatever, not important. But DHS, Department of Homeland Security, is warning that we are going to be seeing violence for the next few months. DHS is warning that the individuals, if you will be using high-profile events. That's like the, whatever summer parade that's going on throughout the country, the 4th of July parties or the fireworks, whatever it is, they think that individuals are going to use those profile events to commit violence, to commit justified violence, so they said, to get their point across. I'm going to read you a couple of things in a little bit that strike me as not weird, but maybe not even concerning, but just raised my antenna a little bit. So again, DHS thinks that these attacks are going to be in schools, again, high profile events, on ideological opponents, whether that's somebody that disagrees with you or I guess maybe even agrees with you, but you feel like they're not committed to the cause. They think that people are going to commit acts of violence on one another. DHS is warning that we're going to be in a heightened threat environment for the next several months. Again, guys, interestingly enough, the timing of this is sort of on the nose with a lot of the 2A or anti-2A bills that are going in and being presented throughout the country. So DHS is pretty much giving us and everyone a heads up about what could be happening in the next several months. Now, you guys heard me say this before. I'm going to say it again. What we saw in Uvalde is not even a tip of the iceberg. It's not going to be the last one, clearly. We have 3 more years of this shit with this current administration. So we're going to see more acts of violence for the next few months. Now, I said this, again, a couple weeks ago? Now DHS is saying the same exact thing. But DHS is also saying that you're going to have acts of violence from both political parties, whether that's Republicans or Democrats, and maybe even conservatives. But probably not conservatives, but definitely 2 far right-leaning people and 2 left-leaning people. You're definitely going to see some kind of act of violence throughout the next several months. So for those of you celebrating, summer, that is, or the 4th of July, whatever event you're going to, especially a lot of people like to go to summer concerts, this is something for you to keep your head on the swivel. That's all it is. I know here in New York we have a less likely chance of that happening because, well, we don't have too many legitimate gun owners here or psych patients that own guns. A lot of the psych patients here don't have guns, and a lot of us law-abiding citizens are not going to do shit like that. So we have less of that happening here. Now, yes, Buffalo was a fluke, if you ask me. Not a fluke, but it was a freak thing because you had some psych patient that owned it. But here in New York City, I'm not worried about it so much. Maybe, again, upstate New York or Pennsylvania or Jersey or Connecticut, something could happen, being that they seem to be awakening all the maturing candidates, though I don't think that's the right term or program that's being used. But I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but I have my suspicions with a couple of things. That's going to be reserved for, that conversation is going to be reserved for when I have more possible evidence of what I think this is. Now, here's the target list, guys. I'm just going to read it off my phone. Here, the target list is faith-based institutions, schools, religious minorities and racial minorities, whatever the fuck that means, government facilities and personnel, U.S. critical infrastructure, blackouts, the media, and perceived ideological opponents. That's the Coast Guard flying right above me. They normally don't fly over the city like this. They usually fly along the Hudson River there, but whatever. They've been maneuvering here in the city for the last few months, and I've seen them fly over the city before, and I'm like, that's weird. Usually they're over the Hudson River or the East River, but they're flying directly over my building. Now, here's a couple other things, guys. On the website, there are a lot of not a lot of website comments, but there are a lot of statements made on the DHS website in regards to this high threat environment that we are going to be in for the next few months. The DHS website, these are a couple of statements I'm going to read. Several recent violent acts by lone offenders against minority communities, schools, house of worship, and mass transit have demonstrated the dynamic and complex nature of the threat environment facing the United States. The continued proliferation of, this is very important, guys, this one is really important to listen to. The continued proliferation of false or misleading narratives regarding current events could reinforce existing personal grievances or ideologies, and in combination with other factors could inspire individuals to mobilize to violence. That is very important because, again, we see misinformation offices or misinformation bills coming out, and then we had Hochul just the other day saying that social media should be held accountable for misinformation and acts of hate, if you will, or hate speeches. Sorry. So again, I thought she was just going to focus on hate speeches. She also mentioned misinformation. Misinformation, guys, is the new word that's being carried on like a torch. This is another part, again, on their website. I'm going to link the website in the description section below. As the United States enters midterm election seasons this year, we assess that calls for violence by domestic violent extremists directed at democratic institutions, political candidates, party offices, election events, and election workers will likely increase. With that, guys, again, this is keep your head on a swivel in case there are more false flags, or whatever the fuck you want to call them, or there's a legitimate psych patient out there ready to fucking shoot some shit up. This is for you guys to keep your head on the swivel. That's it. All right, guys, other than that, thank you for watching.